idea. He said, you know, all you have to do is to say, oh, I had it long. Just give yourself information. And that will help you self-evaluate and make the correction. It's like, holy crap, are you certified in LA therapy? And he started talking to me about when he's working with kids and the parents on the sideline, and the parents are keep sending the correction note to the child out loud verbally, and how unhelpful that is. I'm thinking, this guy's teaching choice theory all the time. All the time. So we haven't, but I expect that we'll have a conversation, just adding a little few more things to it. But that's the idea. Who are you interacting with on a regular basis? And I know each one of us has a relationship with somebody. Every time you're there and you see them and you're happy to see them and you say, how's the day going? Really not great. And their life is never going great. Every time you talk to them, their life is never going great. They've got one complaint, one sorrow, one unhappiness after another. Now, I don't mean that you say, oh, well, follow me down the tra-la path. But you could say, well, who do you talk to about these things? Do you have a person who you really feel like you can confide in? You do? Great. You don't? That must make it harder. That's all. Hope you had a great day. Already they've confided a little bit in you. Now, that's not, again, not going to get them down the tra-la path, because eventually they're going to have to figure out what else to do besides complain about it. But just, I believe we are the ambassadors, and for many of us, we're more than ambassadors. It is our obligation. I don't remember what's next. It's our obligation. And the reason it's our obligation is because we have the answers. We learned them. We live them. And the country, I know, I'm dying to know what you guys from Australia and Ireland think about us and our guns, because I think it's nuts and I live here. But it's our obligation to pick up the mantle, because we do have the answers that our country is hungry for. And I believe it's more than our country. But mental health and happiness, we know the path. Now, whether or not you do it, just like with physical health, we know what we need to do to get into better shape. Whether you choose to do it or not is a whole different question, but at least we all need to know what to do. And I believe it's our obligation to share that information with the people in this country. And I believe we can also do it with our legislators. So not long, like a week after December 14th, now we're moving on to the holiday season, I call up the governor of Colorado. You know, he wasn't there waiting for my call. I never did talk, I haven't talked to him yet. That's the word I'll use. I did get a nice call from a nice person who deals with constituent problems. And I said, no, I'm a constituent who doesn't have a problem. I have a solution. And yeah, I'm sure that I'm not the only person who has a solution to a problem either, so I then become his problem. But actually, he was very kind, he was very nice. And referred me into a couple of people. I can tell you that, and I did call the mayor of Denver, who referred me to the governor's office. I do have plans, because I know it's going to take probably 150 doors for me to knock on before I get somebody to open the door. And then once I get to that door, then somebody's going to have to tell me, you know, I'll go through another 150 people till I get to the right person. But I am bound and determined to do this. Because I do, it's what Kim said, I feel like I am on a mission. I am on a mission. And I believe we are on a mission. Too bad we learned it. You know, remember when Glasser said, you'll never enjoy your depression as much ever again? And I say the same thing is true now. We will never enjoy being a passive observer about what's going on in this country, because we understand what mental health and happiness is, how to get there, how to maintain it, and how to improve it. And even if all we do is for ourselves, that's a lot. Because I know, for many of you, people in your lives who come to you, Beverly, you are always so happy. I mean, and this is genuinely a question you can ask Beverly. You never have a gloomy day. And I don't know if you're the best actress on the planet. If you are, we need to change your career path. But I think you're genuinely always happy. What's your secret? And that's, she knows it, and people come to her and say that. And those of you who know Beverly and her life, she has wonderful things happening in her life, and she also has some pretty big challenges in her life. And yet she's pretty much a centered, happy, mentally healthy, happy person. And why? Because she knows choice theory psychology and she practices it. And she's not the only person in this room. Look around you, folks. We are it. Each one of us has had hardships. Each one of us has had, we have our story. And included in our story, but that's why I sought out and found choice theory, or it's choice theory that gave me what I needed, so I didn't collapse and quit. It's the difference. So we'll never enjoy our mental health and happiness quite as well. Or at least that's my hope. I'm trying to guilt you into this.
How's it going?
So where will you begin? And again, I realized I should change that slide, except I realized it this morning, about 15 minutes before we were going to start. So the question I can ask is, where will you begin? The other question I'll ask is, where have you already begun? And what else will you do? Because it's not a beginning for us. Wherever we are, we're here, so we're beyond beginning. But where else will you go? So here's some things that I want to suggest. They're just ideas, again, just one of many ideas, I hope. One thing that I'm going to ask, and I'm going to ask you to do it in a minute, if you're willing, is I've got a card. Everybody's getting a booklet. I know you may have 35 of them already, or maybe more. I'm going to give you one more. If you choose not to have it, that's okay. Take the card out and leave the pamphlet in the middle of the room. In the middle of the table. But I believe, I hope, as a result of hearing me talk this morning, you'll think about this a little differently and reread the booklet a little bit differently. And if you do, that's great, and if you don't, that's fine. But I also have a card, and what I'm going to ask is that you write down 1 or 2 or 7 daily habits that you practice that helps you maintain your good mental health and happiness. So perhaps it's saying, I'm sorry, say again?
Do they have to be responsible?
Yes. And respectful. All right, John, so think of some others. But it could be that you say to the person in your life, I love you, every day. And it could be, instead of, oh yeah, bye, I'll see you later, I love you. But that you actually stop, look in his eyes, and say, remember, I love you. That's a different goodbye, I love you. Is that what you do? Or look in someone's eyes and say, would you tell me that you love me? Or it could be that you make sure you call Malachi up and tell him a joke and have him laugh. My grandson. He's not quite getting jokes. He's on the verge, though. Or it could be, one of the things I do is I journal every day. Another thing I do is at the end of every day, I write 5 things I'm grateful for. It's one of my practices. It's just what I do. And if I don't do it, I feel off. Just like, And when I first started the 5, this is not a choice theory Glasser idea, but it's certainly consistent with mental health and happiness. And when I knew at the end of every day I had to find 5 things I was grateful for, an amazing thing happened. I knew, God, the end of the day is going to come and I better find 5 things. So I started looking for the good. Remember, our brain is set up as a negative feedback loop. We will see the bad. We have to go out of our way to see the good. So I started looking for it. Because, God, I didn't want to, not that I'm a type A person, but I didn't want the end of the day to come and me fail that quiz that I gave myself. And then amazing things happened. I had more than 5. So occasionally, because this really is breaking the rule, I write down more than 5. But if those of you who know me know that mostly I want to know what the rules are so I can break them. Freedom's always high on my list. But anyway, that's one of the things that I do. What are the things that you do? And it could be taking care of your physical health. helps you with your mental health and happiness. They're not, you know, they are connected. We have this thing called the neck that connects body and mind. Mind and body. But what are those things? And I would bet some of you know them right off the top of your head. Some of you are thinking like John, oh God, does that have to be responsible? But there are things you're doing that you don't even connect. So I want you, that's what I'm asking. And here's why I'm asking it. We have created, the WGIUS has created a new website called mentalhealthandhappiness.com. Now, if you go to that right now, you're going to find nothing, a big fat nothing. That's right, mental health and happiness is nothing. That's very sad. What's eventually going to happen, and in the not too distant future, is that will take you to a page of the WGIUS website. So it's a freestanding title that will take you to part of WGIUS. So when people like Bob Google mental health and happiness, it will take them right to, he won't get bipolar disorder, he'll get that, which will take them to our website. And among the things that I want to have on that website are a list of the things that you can practice daily to improve your mental health and happiness. And so I'm asking that you generate it. Now, some of you may have this deja vu all over again. Didn't that turn into, when we did this before, it turned into a book for Bill and Carlene. It may turn into an e-book. I don't know. I'm not guaranteeing this. It may turn into an e-book that we sell on that website, but it may not. It may just be part of what we offer to the public. If you want to know more about mental health and happiness, we are your resource. If you want to share the habit and you don't want your name shared, I don't plan on sharing your name anyway, but if you don't want it, make sure you write down, do not share my name. Or change it to Charlie Brown. Or what's Lucy's last name? Lucy had
Robbins. Lucy Robbins.
I know, but what's Charlie? That was Charlie Brown's girlfriend too, huh?
Van Help. Van Help.
Thank you. Van Help?
Van
Help. I think Van Help was better. But anyway, make up a name if you don't want. But I don't expect we're going to have names. I think we'll just have it. I actually started this conversation on LinkedIn. Some of you may have seen that or joined in the conversation. I got a couple of answers that blew my mind. 2 different people say, knowing every day I have a choice is one of the things that really helps me with my mental health and happiness. And I thought, I never think of that. Wow. That's cool. So it may be for the rest of the world. It could also be for us. How cool is that? But the site, the page is going to be built. It hasn't been, and I would like us to. Also, the workshop that Ken and I are doing Monday at 1:30 is we're going to go using a microstrategy plan, go through what else can we do? What else can we each individually do, and what can we do as an organization to be moving in this direction? And so if you want to be part of that brainstorm and or part of the team, great, come join us. And then just follow your own personal plan. And again, I expect that might be something that we have on the website, but at this point that's still in the creating process. But I do believe and hope will continue to ask those of us who are involved in this community who are not in this room, the more we do this, the more we're apt to reach the tipping point. What was the number you had yesterday, Kim? 83,000 people? 85, over 85. Now, wouldn't it be nice if it was all those people? But even if it's not, that's a tipping point. Everybody's talking about it. That's going to make a difference. So that's my question for you. That's my charge. Before I pass these out, I just wanted to give the resources this came from. One is the book that I'm going to give you. Another is a hats off to Ken, sharing his dentist story. Actually, being a dentist already is pretty extraordinary. Oh, and this is so inappropriate, so let me tell you. Recently, Ken had graciously volunteered to videotape a Peaceful Parenting series. Oh, this worked out well, which is being premiered and sold in the vending room. I didn't plan that, honest to God, but didn't I slip that right in? But while I was there, we were in this space, and then the restroom that I used was his bathroom. How would you like to spend time in your dentist's bathroom and see what kind of equipment he uses to clean and take care of his teeth? It felt a little like I was on the inside track. What brand toothpaste did he use? What kind of toothbrush did he use? I did not open any cabinets, Ken, I promise. But anyway, so with that, now that I've revealed more about him and me than you need to know, let me thank him. And the resources, again, you're going to, as I said, you'll all get a booklet so you can find the resources at the back of the booklet. But what I would also ask is, and I'm happy to have you send it to me, parentdoctor@gmail.com, or nsbuck@AOL, or send it to Kim and she'll send it to me. Don't send it to Kim. Send it to anybody but Kim. What other resources do you think? So that, again, on the website, I would like to have people do bibliotherapy. So what other kinds of resources can we have available for people to find out more about what is good mental and emotional health? Not just those books. And some of them, I mean, how many of you read Whitaker's book, Man in America? And then, what was his subsequent book? Anybody remember? He's written another one since then. Is it? The Dilemma of an Epidemic? Is that, am I saying that right? Anyway, the Whitaker book was just powerful, and it was depressing as hell. Yeah, it was really, I mean, it's a hard read because of what we've done for centuries with mental health in this country. But anyway, I'd like to have a little bit more, and maybe we might have some positive psychology books on it as well, because they do have something to contribute to the conversation, even though I'm competitive. Ultimately, this is my vision. And this is my vision not just with peaceful parenting, but with it all. Now, some of you probably got this through either Facebook or an email. I won't do the story justice, but I look at this and I see Dr. Glasser's solving circle. So there's a tribe in Africa, and at least here it's all boys, I think. And when the boys are having difficulty getting along, when they're having some kind of conflict, they sit down in a solving circle, feet in, and they work it out. And they don't leave until they work it out. Can you imagine in the Middle East if that was what would be going on? But we don't have to go to the Middle East. Let's take that poor child who was so destructive in Newtown. And let's imagine going back to him being in first grade, where he's struggling, where he is known as the funny-looking kid, where he's known as the kid that nobody likes, nobody quite knows. Is he real? Who is that kid that's not here? I can't remember who he is. He's been absent for 3 days. Do I know him? Is he in our class? That child. And imagine now, the community says, he's having trouble, he's in trouble. What can I do to help this kid meet his needs for safety, love, power, fun, and freedom more effectively? And that kid is presently in second grade in some school in the United States right now. And if we don't intervene, the chances are, not 100% and not every one of those, but the chances are at some point in his life, he will do what he can to get rid of the pain, the ache that he feels, which means he'll pick up a gun and shoot. And I say, we have a call to action, and we cannot wait. So thanks for listening. Thanks for